Okay, so now if you want to just read the passage.
Yeah. John Chapman was born in 1774 and grew in the Massachusetts. He became a farmer and learned how to grow different kinds of crops and trees. John especially liked to grow and eat apples. Many people were moving west that time. They were heading Ohio and Pennsylvania. John knew that the apple were good for settlers to have. Apple trees were strong and easy to grow. Apple could eat raw and they could be cooked in many ways. They could also dried for later use. So, and they could be cooked in many ways. They could also tried for later use. So in 1797, John decided to go west. He wanted to planted apple trees for the people who would build their new home there. John first gathered the bags of the apple seeds. He got many of his seeds from the farmer who squeezed the apple to make a drink called cider. Then in the spring, he left of the western frontier. He planted the seeds as he went along. Also, he gave them to people who know the valuable apple trees. John walked many miles in all the kind of weather. He had crossed the dangerous rivers and found his way through the strange forest. Often he was hungry and cold and wet. Sometimes he had to hide from unfriendly Indians. His clothes became ragged and torn. He used a sack for shirt, and he cut the holes for the arms. He wore no shoes, but he never gave up. He guarded his precious seeds, carefully planted them where they had a best chance of growing in a strong seed. John's fame spread. He was nicknamed Johnny Appleseed. New settlers welcomed him gratefully and accepted a gift of an apple seed. Many legends grew up about Johnny Appleseed that were not always true. Here, however, one thing true. Thanks to John Appleseed, apple trees now grow in the part of America where they once never did.
Oh, awesome job. Okay, so I just have a couple questions. All right, so what was John Chapman's main goal? What was his goal?
He's called to put us apple seed to everywhere.
Appleseed everywhere?
Yeah,
Appleseed or apple trees?
apple trees.
Okay. All right. Why did John choose apples to plant instead of some other fruit?
Uh, because he liked to eat the John especially liked to grow and eat the apples.
Okay, where did John get most of his seeds? Where did he get his seeds?
Farmers,
Okay. Why would John be able to get so many seeds from cider makers?
what?
Why would John be able to get so many seeds from cider makers? So they talk about cider makers. So why was he able to get so many seeds?
Because they use for the apple juice.
Okay. All right, how do we know that John cared about planting apple trees?
Because He very passionate about the apples, and he really liked to put the apple trees in there.
He liked to plant the apple trees? Okay. All right, how did John get to many of the places he visited? How did he get to the many places he visited?
Walk
Mhm.
both ways.
Yep. Name one hardship John suffered.
From unfriendly Indians.
Okay. And why should we thank Johnny Appleseed?
What?
Why should we be thankful for?
Because he put a lot of apple trees grow in the part of America where they once never did.
Okay. Wonderful.